Go with the first in the series of the 100 meters, and Adewale looking very strong again as they come through. And a superb run, a great victory once again there.
At just 16 years old, Iheme has done the unthinkable. The teenage sprinting sensation from Radley, Oxfordshire, isn't just another fast kid, he's something else entirely. In a sport dominated by grown men and Olympic veterans, Iheme isn't waiting for his moment. He's taking it, right now. When he clocked 10.3 seconds in the 100-meter sprint in August 2024, the world of athletics stood still. It wasn't just fast for his age. It was a direct challenge to the legacy of the greatest sprinters in history. To put that into perspective, Usain Bolt ran 10.57 at age 14. Noah Lyles, nearly a full second slower than Iheme at the same age. But Iheme didn't just edge out the record, he crushed it. That 10.3 didn't just top youth charts. It shattered the U15 world record, previously held by Jamaica's Sachin Dennis at 10.51. It wasn't a fluke, it was a warning shot.
Well, when I first saw it, I was in utter shock. Like, I couldn't believe it. I was jumping about, running around. I just felt so happy.
In just one electrifying performance, Iheme rewrote the history books. And the craziest part? That 10.3 would have placed him third at the 2024 British Athletics Championships against grown men. His time also catapulted him into the elite ranks of European U18 history, trailing only Teddy Wilson and France's Jeff Arias. At 16, Iheme isn't just breaking age group records, he's running with the best of them. Born on the 1st of October 2009, Iheme is no accident. Sprinting runs deep in his blood. His parents, Innocent Iheme and Nkiruka Anu, were both international sprinters for Nigeria. His mother, now his coach, believed in his talent before he ever took a step. "When I was pregnant, he kept kicking," she told the BBC. "I knew when he was in my tummy." That instinct turned into reality. Iheme stood out from his earliest school days, and by 13, sprinting was no longer just a hobby, it was a mission. With the help of Radley AC and the PWD Athletics Academy, founded by his mother, Iheme honed his explosive power and technique. The results? Beyond anything the UK has seen in years. While his 100 meters record caught the headlines, he wasn't done. Fast forward to January 2025. Iheme entered the BFTTA Indoor Series in London and broke the 60 meters world record for 5-year-olds twice in one day. First came a blistering 6.72. Then, not long after, 6.71. That was enough to obliterate the long-standing record of 6.74 set by Jamie Samuels back in 2003. In just one afternoon, Iheme rewrote the script again.
Oh, Iheme.
With these times, he moved into fourth on the UK's all-time U18 list for the 60 meters, just 0.02 seconds behind Mark Lewis Francis's 6.69. That's not just impressive, that's unheard of for someone who had just turned 16. His power off the blocks, explosive drive phase, and natural composure hint at a sprinter years ahead of his time. And it's not just about speed. Iheme's running style is what truly sets him apart. While many young sprinters try to copy the greats, Iheme has carved out his own lane. He's watched Bolt's legendary 200 meters world record countless times, but when it comes to his own stride, he says it's unique and natural. "I don't try to model it from anyone," he told Sky Sports. "I just try my best to slingshot off the bend in the 200 meters and keep going until the finish line." That rare mix of fearless execution and flawless form has coaches losing their minds. His relaxed upper body, smooth cadence, and mature race management are rare in athletes his age. He's not just fast, he's smart fast. Despite all the hype, Iheme remains remarkably grounded. When told he'd beaten Noah Lyles' youth time, he didn't gloat. He smiled and said, "Noah Lyles is a great athlete, and he's given me a lot of confidence to pursue this career, run quicker, get a better time." The same goes for Usain Bolt. Iheme has long said that watching Bolt at the 2009 World Championships lit the fire in him. Now, that same flame is pushing him to inspire others. He even looks up to Allyson Felix for her grace and composure, admiring her fluid stride and the way she performs under pressure. But this story isn't just about speed. It's about sacrifice, legacy, and family. His mother gave up 9 years in the British military to train him full-time. His father and grandfather were both athletes, and his 2 older brothers, Praise and Wisdom, are also serious about sports. It's a full house operation. Iheme says his biggest goal isn't just to win medals, it's to give back. I want to make sure that in the future, they can just sit back and relax while I can get them gifts, buy them a house, he told the BBC. The goal is to try and make them happy, make them live a great life. In 2024, Divine became English schools champion over 100 meters. He didn't stop there. He completed the 100 meters and 200 meters double at the English Athletics Indoor Age Group Championships. Every meet he enters, he dominates. By August 2025, he'd run 10.29 seconds at Lee Valley, a British U18 best and a European all-time record for a 5-year-old. It's not just raw speed, it's consistency. Whether it's the 60 meters indoors or the 200 meters outdoors, Divine shows up and wins. The comparisons to Bolt and Lyles are not just media spin, they're backed up by the stopwatch. Even Usain Bolt has noticed. In a recent podcast, Bolt reflected on his early days and how success came before he was ready for it. When I started out, I didn't understand the concept of being great, he said. I would go to meets and I would lose. And I was like, this is strange, this is new. So it took me a while to understand. Bolt's takeaway, talent isn't enough. You need consistency, humility, and work ethic. All signs point to Divine absorbing that lesson early. His focus is unshakable, his training relentless, and his perspective mature. The British media has already dubbed him the new Noah Lyles, but Divine isn't chasing titles, he's chasing greatness. His highlight reels are spreading like wildfire across TikTok and Instagram. Track fans can't get enough. But even with all this attention, Divine keeps a modest social media profile. He's not in it for the likes. He's in it for the grind. Now, scouts from top athletics programs in the UK and Europe are circling. They see what everyone else does, a future Olympian in the making. Divine's current goals: break 10.2 inches the 100 meters, go sub 21 inches the 200 meters, and with the way he's progressing, it's not a matter of if, but when. He trains 4 times a week at PWD Academy while juggling school, family, and an intense athletic schedule. It's pressure, but he thrives under it. As of October 2025, Divine is ranked among the top U18 athletes globally in both the 60 meters and 100 meters. That's not hype, that's fact. What's most impressive isn't just that Divine Iheme has done what Bolt and Lyles didn't at his age, it's that he's doing it without losing himself. While many young stars get lost in the fame, Divine is staying grounded because he knows exactly why he's running. He's not sprinting for attention, he's sprinting for something much deeper: family, purpose, and legacy. And that's what truly makes him dangerous. This isn't just another fast kid. This is destiny in spikes. And the world better keep watching, because Divine Iheme is just getting started.
Quickly picks up Howard behind him, and then out wide at Kelly. How quick will he be? He's stretching away now. Isn't he beautiful to watch? He did switch off. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy!
At just 17 years old, Gout has done what few ever imagined. He's shattered records, stunned international athletes, and injected new life into Australian sprinting. But beyond the headlines and the split-second finishes lies a story that's only just beginning. Because Gout isn't just fast, he might be the future of global track. Let's rewind to a warm evening in Perth. Gout, then a relatively unknown teenager, stepped onto the track for the Australian U20 National Championships. What followed was nothing short of extraordinary. In one day, he clocked not 1, but 2 wind-assisted 9.99-second runs in the 100 meters. Though ineligible for records due to tailwinds, the message was clear: a new sprinting star had arrived. Gout didn't stop there. That same weekend, he demolished a piece of Australian athletic history: Peter Norman's 5-6-year-old 200 meters national record. His time? A blistering 20.04 seconds. Just months later, he would better that mark again with a 20.02-second finish in Ostrava, Czech Republic, making it official. Gout had run the fastest 200 meters in Oceanian history. This wasn't just another fast time. It was the fastest ever by an Australian and the second fastest 200 meters by any under 1/8 sprinter in history, just behind Usain Bolt's world best. That record-breaking run in Ostrava wasn't against local talent either. He beat established international names like Cuba's Rainier Mena and Olympic medalist Nathaniel Mitchell-Blake from the UK. And through it all, Gout remained composed. After the race, he told reporters, "I feel good. New personal best, new national record in my first European race. I don't feel any pressure." There was no arrogance, just a calm, self-assured teenager with a growing list of accomplishments. Gout's rise is even more remarkable when you look at where he came from. Born in December 2007 inches, Ipswich, Queensland, he's one of 7 children in a family that fled war-torn South Sudan. His parents, Dinka refugees, endured a difficult journey through Egypt before settling in Australia. His name, Gout, was a clerical error during the immigration process, a mistake that would soon become a symbol of triumph. Originally drawn to soccer, Gout made the switch to track in his early teens. By 14, he was rewriting national records. At 15, he was already running 20.87 seconds in the 200 meters and earning a silver medal at the World U20 Championships in Lima. And by 16, he had signed a professional contract with Adidas. While many teens his age were worrying about exams and social media, Gout was racing grown men and breaking continental records. In April 2025, at the Australian National Championships, he clocked an incredible 19.84 inches, the 200 meters, though the wind reading made it unofficial. But Gout wasn't discouraged. He smiled and said, "It's definitely frustrating. I run fast times, but the wind is not on my side. Hopefully one day the wind will be great." Weeks later, his wish came true. With legal wind conditions, he ran a 20.02 inches Europe, an official record that confirmed everything fans had hoped for. To truly grasp how monumental this is, let's put things in context. By age 17, even Usain Bolt hadn't run that fast. Gout's performances are not only national headlines, they're global signals that a new contender is rising. When the 2025 World Athletics Championships arrived in Tokyo, Gout was the youngest man ever selected for Australia's senior sprint team. All eyes were on him as he stepped into the blocks against legends like Lyles Tebogo and Brian Level. In the semi-final, he moved from 7th to finish 4th with a 20.36. It wasn't enough for the final, but it was a world-class debut. His response? Classy as ever. Obviously, I was aiming for that sub-20, but today wasn't the day. God didn't allow it today, but I know for sure in the future it's going to come. That maturity, patience, mixed with burning ambition is what truly sets Gout apart. His mental game is just as strong as his physical talent. Even with international pressure, media attention, and major sponsorships, he remains grounded. He's currently finishing school and even considering a future in psychology. Coaches say he's calm, analytical, and deeply focused. It's a rare mix in a sport where hype can derail even the most promising careers, and that's what makes him different. He's not just here for the moment, he's built for the long haul. Of course, comparisons to Usain Bolt are inevitable. Both were teenage prodigies. Both possess smooth, long strides and seem to glide across the track. But Gout's not trying to be the next Bolt. As many are starting to say, he might just be the first Gout. Australia hasn't had a sprinter on this level since Peter Norman's iconic 1,968 silver medal performance. For decades, the nation's athletic pride lay in swimming and distance running. But Gout has reignited an entire sprint culture. Track commentator Bruce McAvaney called it a renaissance. And it's not just the numbers. Gout's story connects with people on a human level, a refugee family, a young boy discovering his talent, a teenager standing on the world stage, not just representing Australia, but redefining it. After the World Championships, Gout took a short break to focus on his final high school exams. Yes, even after sprinting past world-class athletes, he's still just a student, balancing chemistry tests with championship races. That humility and focus suggests something even greater ahead. He's not letting the spotlight change who he is. For now, the goals are clear: break 20 seconds legally, represent Australia at the 2028 Los Angeles Olympics, and maybe, just maybe, become the fastest man alive. Because let's be honest, at this pace, anything is possible. Gout is now the youngest athlete ever to hold the Oceanian 200 meters record. He's already outrun Usain Bolt's under 1:06 marks, and he's within striking distance of Bolt's under 2:0 records. He's got the Adidas deal, the records, the fans, but more importantly, he's got the drive. One more thing to consider: Gout has yet to fully tap into his potential. He's still refining his start, which he openly admits isn't where he wants it to be. "I didn't get the start I anticipated," he said after one of his standout races. And yet, even with less than perfect launches, he's dominating fields and setting records. Once he perfects those early meters, the rest of the world might be playing catch-up. He also holds multiple age group titles and has already competed at both junior and senior international levels before turning 18, something almost unheard of in the track world. And while most teenagers are easing into elite competition, Gout has already proven he belongs in the conversation with the best sprinters alive. More importantly, his recent qualification for the 2025 World Athletics Championships in Tokyo has thrust him into the global spotlight. Gout is now preparing to compete head-to-head with sprinting giants like Noah Lyles and Lyles Tebogo. It's a chance not only to test himself against the world's best, but to possibly become the first Australian ever to break the 20-second barrier in an official 200 meters competition. So, is he the next Bolt? Maybe. Or maybe he's something even rarer, a once-in-a-generation talent with a once-in-a-generation story. Because when Gout steps onto the track, he's not just running a race, he's rewriting history.
And Nader coming wide for Portugal! Nader for Portugal from London on the line! And the younger chariot takes the bronze! What a run!
Everyone thought they knew how the 1,500 meters at the 2025 World Championships in Tokyo would end. The experts had already picked their winner. But when the race was over, the spotlight wasn't on the favorites. It was on one man, Isaac Nader. From the start, no one saw him coming. Ranked 8th in the world and sitting at 5-0-1 odds, Nader was the last person anyone expected to win gold. He had never even made the podium at a major championship before, but what he did in the final 100 meters of that race wasn't just a victory, it was a message. This underrated Portuguese sprinter had just flipped the entire script of the men's 1,500 meters. The build-up to this race was already unusual. With memories of the previous year's Olympic finals still fresh, fans had been anticipating a high-stakes rematch between the sport's biggest names. But one by one, those stars fell. Yared Nuguse didn't even qualify for Worlds, finishing 5th at the U.S. Championships. Jakob Ingebrigtsen, still nursing an Achilles injury, couldn't make it out of the first round. Cole Hawker, the reigning Olympic champ, was shockingly disqualified in the semifinals after a controversial clash with Germany's Robert Farken. That left Josh Kerr as the last man standing among the old guard. The reigning world champion and Britain's golden hope, Kerr was expected to hold the fort. But with 600 meters to go in the final, disaster struck. His calf seized up, leaving him limping down the track and finishing in last place. In a race that had already defied logic, Kerr's sudden collapse removed the last familiar face from the podium conversation. At this point, the crown seemed destined for the 20-year-old phenom, Niels Laros. The Dutch prodigy had blitzed the Diamond League all season and lined up as the heavy favorite. As the final lap began, Laros was perfectly positioned on the shoulder of Kenya's Timothy Cheruiyot, a seasoned veteran and former world champion. But even the best-laid plans can unravel in the chaos of a 1,500. With just 200 meters to go, it was Jake Whiteman, the 2022 world champion, who made a move that had all the makings of a comeback fairy tale. After 3 grueling years of injuries, Whiteman found himself out front again in a major final, just as he had been in Eugene. His arms were pumping, his stride looked strong, and his father, Jeff Whiteman, was once again calling the race over the PA system, just as he had during his son's 2022 victory. But what no one saw coming was what was happening behind him. Isaac Nader, running in 5th with just 100 meters left, had been hiding in plain sight. His positioning was quiet but calculated. And in those final moments, he unleashed one of the most blistering finishes ever seen on a championship stage, closing his last 100 meters in a staggering 12.28 seconds. His final 200, a fiery 25.32, and the last lap, an elite 51.2 seconds. Whiteman saw it coming too late. As he drove for the line, Nader surged past him, barely dipping across the finish 0.02 seconds ahead. Just like that, Portugal had its first ever world title in the men's 1,500 meters. The time, 3:34:10. It wasn't just a win, it was a reshuffling of the global hierarchy. Whiteman, heartbroken yet gracious, accepted silver with a time of 3:34:12. Kenya's Reynold Cheruiyot, just 21 years old, took bronze in 3:34:25, his first global medal. Laros, the favorite, faded hard and finished a disappointing 5th. Timothy Cheruiyot, once the man to beat, had nothing left in the closing stages. It was one of the closest 1,500-meter finishes in history, closer than most 100-meter finals. The Tokyo crowd could barely believe what they had seen. One of the sport's most unpredictable events had somehow managed to become even more chaotic. For Nader, the moment was beyond anything he had experienced before. "I am emotionally tired but very happy," he said post-race. "I am speechless. Today I am a world champion, and there is only one bigger title, the Olympic gold.